There's a really strong case to be made that Meermin make the best value loafers in the world. Maybe. I'm trying to do more unscripted videos because I don't have to write the whole script. As a result, they're gonna feel a little meandering. Hi everybody, this is Nick. This is Stridewise, where I look at casual and durable menswear and footwear, especially boots. Come summer, it's especially loafers because you can wear them with shorts. And for this video, I really want to review the loafers from Meermin Mallorca because over the many years, I have slowly picked up 3 loafers from them, which are 3 different models in 3 different lasts, 3 different fits. And I want to compare them and tell you which my favorites are and which ones might work for you, because the tale of these loafers is actually a tale of Meermin Mallorca, the brand itself, right? When it comes to nice footwear, I think to assess the value of a product, you look at the quality of the materials, quality of the construction, and where it's made. And with those, you can get a rough idea as to what a good price for it would be. And I think taking those 3 things into account, there's a really strong case to be made that Meermin make the best value loafers in the world. Maybe. I'm going to tell you why I think that. It's a Spanish brand, and what's funny about them is that they are over 20 years old, but they haven't been selling in America for that long. And I haven't covered them a ton on this channel either. I did a video on one of their boots in year 1, and then I just kind of ignored them for a long time. They never had anything I was that interested in, and also I had trouble kind of figuring out what the brand was about, what the hero product was. And now, many years later, Meermin has sort of come into themselves a bit. Importantly, they're better at selling to an American audience. I'm American. I'm in America, don't let my accent fool you. Meermin have been in America for less time than me. They only came over here a few years ago. And when they came over here, loafer-wise, they were all about this one. This is the Run. And this is the earliest of the lasts I've got here. And I don't really dress up very much, so I got this in a brown suede, which is maybe, that's the most classic casual leather. But my friend Alejandro, I've got some shots of him on screen here. He's got these in black. It's that black calfskin. That's the go-to dressy leather. Anyway, the Ron Loafer, I'm calling it the Ron Loafer because their actual product names are just numbers. It's really stupid. So I'm just saying the Ron Loafer. It's pointy, it's European, it is dressy. Even though I got the least dressy version of it I could find, the fact remains that their loafers for a long time, they leaned European. And what do I mean by that? It's actually not super easy for a company that's founded in, let's say, Spain and became successful there to just start selling in America, because there are differences in feet, but also culturally there are differences. Jay Fitzpatrick is a friend of mine. He has his own brand. He had a store downtown in Manhattan here, and he is American. They learned shoemaking in Italy and in London, and that was the first time I heard from him that the way continental Europeans, especially French and Italians, wear those loafers, they wear them very, very tight. So they find that comfortable, they prefer that. So my point here is that some problems Meermin had when they came to America was, number 1, Europeans in general, they tend to prefer more almond-shaped toes like this, pointier shoes. Number 2, their feet fit differently. And number 3, they culturally really like slimmer shoes, tighter fitting shoes as well. All these came together to produce a situation where Meermin was trying to sell in America. They were selling loafers like this, and Americans didn't love them that much. And I, as an American, and legally I am an American, didn't like them either. They were too damn pointy in the toes. They really cramped my toes. After a few years, Meermin came out with this one. This is the Nova loafer, which is closer to what they should have been selling in the first place. What's cool about the Nova loafer that they come out with is that it is roomier in the toe, but it's still pretty European looking. If you look at it next to the Run Last, you might be able to tell that it's a little bit wider in the toe. And indeed, this fits fine. I don't have the discomfort that I had in the Run, but when you're looking at it, it's still fairly tapered, right? So the Run is their dressiest loafer. Again, I got it in a casual style, but most of them are dressy. The most versatile loafer from Meermin is this one, the Nova. It's right between these two here. It's fairly flat as well. There's no lining here, which makes it really, really good for summer. That said, if you're wearing it with shorts and a t-shirt, it's still a little bit too slim for that. It's still a bit too European feeling, even though comfort-wise, it feels great, right? I still wore this Nova loafer a lot. Last year, I wore it all the time, but only when I was wearing trousers. Now they finally have a loafer that is American friendly. This is the Sway. It is their newer loafer. They don't have as many leathers for this one as they do for the other ones, but Meermin has sort of finally come out with a proper American loafer. This one doesn't squish the toes like this, but it doesn't look like it's squishing the toes like this, which doesn't. Nova's great if you like this look, but this one is nice and round, and it's also got a good bit of volume here as well. It's got the curves and higher sidewalls of the classic casual comfort loafer. Most of the leathers are relatively casual for the Sway loafer, and I'm really happy with this one. So I've been wearing this a lot. I was sort of kind of quite proud of Meermin when they came out with this. As a brand I've been following for many years, the Spanish brand has finally come out with the American loafer, and it's really comfy and it can be worn with shorts. That's the story of Meermin and the story of their loafers. Boot-wise, they're really famous for their hole cut Chelsea boots. Eventually I'll do a video on that. But if I'm talking about the brand's hero products, what they're really good at making and what they're known for, yeah, it's the loafers in summer, in winter, the hole cut Chelseas. So I've discussed how they differ in how they fit. Comfort-wise, they all have the correct sole for a loafer, which is a leather sole. I don't care if anyone thinks differently, they are wrong. Leather soles are awesome for many, many, many reasons that I would derail this video if I properly got into all the reasons. I've got a couple of videos where I get into it. But for our purposes here, let's remember that most people wear loafers in summer. Leather soles breathe better. And you want it to be fairly flexible underfoot as well and fairly lightweight underfoot, especially if you're going sockless or going with thin socks. And that is something that leather soles offer. And that's especially the case if you're getting a Goodyear welted shoe, which these are. Historically, loafers were, maybe not these days, but loafers, especially European loafers from a place like Mallorca, would be more likely to be Blake stitched, which is just kind of stitching through the insole to the outsole. It's a more simple construction than the Goodyear welts they've got here. Cheaper to make, which is good. But the Goodyear welt they've gone with here, it's a more complex construction, it's more expensive to make, but it is easier to resole. So you get some longevity benefits. With all that said, these three loafers, in addition to fitting differently, they don't have the exact same construction. The Ron loafers are Goodyear welted, like kind of classically Goodyear welted with a normal leather outsole. The Nova here is flex Goodyear welted. What that means is that there is, I believe it was instead of the cork filling you get on a Goodyear welt normally, they swap that out for some foam. And then the Sway loafers, they don't have that foam construction of the flex Goodyear welt, but they have an unusually flexible kind of leather outsole. It's a flex leather sole. So while they're all Goodyear welted with leather soles, they're actually all different. Comfort-wise, these two more casual loafers also more comfortable. I will say that the Nova, the flex Goodyear welt, is a little bit more flexible than the normal Goodyear welt with the flex leather outsole, if that matters to you, but they're both perfectly comfortable. The primary difference that I want to emphasize in how they're constructed though is the lining, because we're talking about breathability here, and also this really affects the aesthetic of it as well. Basically, the Ron is leather lined, makes sense, it's dressier. What you might be surprised by is that the most casual one, which is the Sway, it is leather lined. It's vegetable tan sheepskin, I believe it is, whereas the Nova is not lined. The Sway is lined to give it more structure because Americans don't just like wider toe boxes, they also tend to like a little more volume in the toe as well. So to give this some more structure, they gave it some lining, and there's also like a stiffener in here as well. Whereas the Nova, it's a more versatile look, a bit more tapered toe, and also it's completely unlined and unstructured, which means it is just fantastic to wear in the summer and to wear barefoot. They're both fine barefoot, like they're both very breathable, but the Nova wins out if you're looking for a dedicated, like the hottest weather possible kind of loafer. Just note that the more you wear it in, it'll get softer around here and like collapse like a little bit more. This will look even less dressy with time, whereas this is less dressy because it's rounder, but it has more structure, so you might consider that to be more dressy. It's kind of up to you as to what you consider to be more versatile, right? The value is really good at Meermin. They're made in China, but with Goodyear construction and also with like brand name leathers. Like the suede is usually from CF Stead or some other Italian tanneries. Their calf is usually from France's Tannery d'Annonay, I think it is, or Tannery du Puy, like really, like many consider the best in the world for these sorts of leathers, but they're made in China and the price is like under $250 for them. It's very impressive. And to further make my case, I'm gonna quickly compare this with some other similar loafers. This is from my written review, by the way, which is in the description below. Other loafers I've got, Astorflex, $250. The difference is you don't know the tannery it's from, and it's less durable construction. It's made in Italy though. Allen Edmonds, $450. Similar leathers, made in America, that's an upside, a lot more expensive. Grant Stone, about $400. Similar quality leathers, also made in China, albeit with a heavier and more durable kind of build, kind of Goodyear welt, but still it's over $400 now. J. Fitzpatrick, I own their loafers. That is a tougher build than Meermin's, less fancy tanneries though, but they are made in Spain, but they're $325-ish. Oak Street Bootmakers, they are made in America though. They have fewer leathers on offer. They're not Goodyear welted. They are genuine hand-sewn construction, which is cool and like an art form in making loafers, but still probably not as durable as a Goodyear welt build, and they're $348. Other loafer I wear a lot is Thursday Boot Company. Theirs is $180, so cheaper than Meermin. They're Blake stitched though, so not quite as long lasting as Goodyear welted, and it's less fancy tanneries as well. They're made in Mexico. You might prefer that to made in China, you might not, I don't know. You're not wrong if you think the lower price of some of those models I mentioned is worth the trade-offs. Like I own all of those loafers and I wear them all. I don't usually keep things I don't like, so I love all of those loafers for different reasons. But with that calculus that I mentioned earlier, as far as the quality of the materials and where they're made and how tough, complicated, and artisanal the construction is, it is hard to find something better than Meermin. If you're taking into account the ease of ordering as well, though, because there are some brands like India and Indonesia where you could get something that's harder to make, like hand lasted and hand welted, for the same price or less. The leathers would not be as well known though, if you're getting it from like Blackbird Shoemaker or something like that. And it's a lot harder to do returns and exchanges with some of these brands, and you'll often have to wait for them to be made for you as well. So the quality of the leathers, the construction quality, the price, and how easy it is to order, which is a factor here, Meermin's really, really good. It's hard to beat Meermin. One last note on the sizing. The main downside of Meermin is they are European. I keep saying that. I love Europeans. My mother is English, but sorry, the sizing is weird. They use British sizing, and the problem with British sizing is just more confusing than European sizing. Because European sizing, you're gonna be like a 40 something. It's very obvious, like I'm like an 11.5 in US sizes, I'm 40 something in European. But the problem with British sizes is that they're just one size smaller than ours usually. So I'm like an 11.5 on a Brannock device, a shoe measuring device in a shoe store. In most Goodyear welted boots, I'm an 11 in the US. In England, I'm a 10.5 UK in their boots. And to make things even more complicated, loafers fit and size differently to boots. And not all of these loafers are sized the same because they're all on different lasts. So hear me now, this is very important. If you do not know what your Brannock size is, go to a shoe store, get your Brannock size. That's the foot measuring device in a shoe store, right? If you haven't done that, you probably don't know what your shoe size is because sneakers tend to be smaller, so the sizes are larger. So look, here's what you need to know. On a Brannock device, my true official, literal, real world size is 11.5. About half my sneakers are 12. About half them are 11.5. My Goodyear welted boots are 11. This is US. In Britain, in UK sizing, which is what Meermin uses, in boots, I'm a 10.5 UK. In loafers, which are sized a bit differently, I am a 10. In the Nova and the Ron. The new Sway is roomier, and then it's got lining, unlike the Nova. All this stuff affects how the sizing is. And instead of just like giving it an easier to guess size, I am a 9.5 in the Sway. A 10 would have been fine, but the more I wear it, it's gonna stretch out a little bit more. And because I'm probably gonna wear the sockless a bit, so that also is another thing that factors into the fit with loafers. So it's a little bit wider, it's British sizing. I'm probably gonna wear it with no socks and suede stretches. Even though it is leather lined, all those reasons why this is 9.5 UK. These are 10. Let that guide you. All right, man, that's my review of Meermin's loafers. Bit off the cuff, but I just realized I had a lot to talk about with these loafers, and I've been thinking about them a lot. They've been like taking up they've been occupying a lot of space in my mind, so I wanted to get this out there. I really like the Nova. It is a good balance of being comfortable and still maybe in a different leather, it would be perfectly dressy. Although I can wear this with like, you know, slacks and a sports jacket and a tie and an Oxford cloth button down, that kind of thing. If I feel like it, totally fine. These two, I love them, wear them all the time. Ron, it's too pointy. Sorry, man. If you're European, you might like it though. Or if you have like more slim feet. Otherwise, these two are really good. And also my opinion is totally subjective. You might love the Ron yourself, but I've asked around and most Americans seem to share my opinion. That is my naturalized American take on the European brand Meermin. The full article is in the description below. If that was too meandering for you, it's written out a bit more plainly and sequentially. Otherwise, there's also a link in the description below to get yourself some loafers if you feel like it. I'm a big freak for loafers. Subscribe for more stuff on loafers or boots and just all manner of casual and durable menswear and footwear. And I'll see you in the next video.